your Nissan Sports Desk.
This may have been the most critical day of the preseason for the Cowboys, the day four-time Pro Bowl offensive guard Zach Martin had an MRI on his hyperextended left knee. And good news, tests show no structural damage. It's a bone bruise, and the Cowboys are hopeful Zach Martin will be able to play in the season opener at Carolina 3 weeks from today. Cowboys' first-team defense looked good last night in the first half, shutting out the Cincinnati Bengals through the first two quarters. Second-year left corner Cheeto Awuzie with a highlight reel interception late in the half. Cheeto switched from number 33 to 24 this year. He looked a lot like a number 24 from the past, Everson Walls, who had 44 interceptions in 9 seasons as a Cowboys left corner 3 decades ago.
Yeah, it was a cool play. I wish I gripped it like the first time, but it was a pretty cool play.
I wish it was the regular season. Play of the year. Play of the year. Top 10 is definitely gonna be top 3.
It's the type of play, it doesn't make the stat book, but it makes the highlight tape. So, I'll definitely, hopefully for more plays like that.
I mean, that's something that he's always been able to do athletically. And, we're so excited about him. He's at an unbelievable camp. He's turning into a leader with how he practices and plays. So that's nothing that we were surprised about.
Another big injury concern coming out of last night's game, starting free safety Xavier Woods, who suffered a hamstring injury, putting his status in doubt for the season opener in 3 weeks. Meanwhile, a safety from the other side last night, Cincinnati's veteran George Iloka was cut by the Bengals today in what is being called a salary cap move. Cowboys are razor thin at safety now, so they could be interested. Cowboys move training camp to the Star in Frisco this week. Practices are free and open to the public Monday and Tuesday afternoon. 5:30 start times, and on Thursday and Friday mornings at 11 a.m. and more CBS 11 news in a moment.
Annalise, thank you. Not a bad-looking forecast. The Cowboys aren't bad-looking right now either, if you ask me. My humble opinion, though, Bill, you're the expert. What do you think?
Well, at least in the first half of these games, when the first team is in the game, they're looking pretty good. We start with good news tonight. This is the last Sunday without football until the Sunday after the Super Bowl right here on CBS. We've got Cowboys-Cardinals next Sunday night and then LSU-Miami the following Sunday, both at AT&T Stadium. So at this very moment, we have now officially survived the offseason. And even better news, it appears the Cowboys have survived their biggest scare of the preseason. 4-time Pro Bowl right guard Zach Martin leaves last night's game against the Bengals with a left knee injury, and an MRI performed this morning reveals no structural damage. Martin has a bone bruise, a hyperextended knee. Cowboys are hopeful he'll be back in time to play at Carolina in the season opener 3 weeks from today. First team offense had some good moments last night as they accounted for 10 points on 3 first-half possessions against the Bengals. Without both Zach Martin and Travis Frederick, Dak Prescott uses his legs in the red zone on 3rd and goal. Dak extends the play. Terrence Williams creates separation in the end zone, and Dak completes an 82-yard, 16-play touchdown drive.
It gives us another avenue, I guess we can go down. I mean, obviously I'm getting out of the pocket. Anytime in the red zone, I mean, every quarterback necessarily tries to do that when the first reads aren't necessarily there.
So it was good to see him cash in on the one drive. The scramble play to the left to Terrence. Really good job by Terrence staying alive, and great poise by Dak at the end of the down.
It was a great job of my receiver, especially Terrence there, of staying with me and fighting and getting back open as I was running out of time.
He looked very comfortable and confident. I just think he's really running the show the right way. He's got great command of what we want to do and consistently allowing us to move the football.
And now we bring in Keith Russell, who was at the game last night, spent the last week of camp in Oxnard, and everybody talking about that defense.
I'm calling it Big D, Bill. Big D. Now, I know it's preseason. I repeat, I know it's preseason, but this Cowboys defense is legit. And imagine if and when David Irving is ready to play. And just imagine Sean Lee is the old man of the bunch, and he's not old. This is the making of something special.
Play action fake, and now a sack.
It's too early to say you're looking at the new doomsday defense, but it's not too early to understand this unit has a chance to be the driving force of the team for the first time in a long time.
I mean, we're excited. I mean, like I said, it'll mean more in the regular season when we start getting going. But like I said, we have a talented group, and we have a young group that's ready to go get it.
To have a defense like that to get us the ball right back and able to go and put that long drive together after we did gives offense a lot of confidence that just take care of the ball. You know what I mean? Take care of the ball, take what the defense gives us. and then our defense is going to get us the ball back quick. And so when things work out that way, it gives both sides of the ball and the team just confidence that builds.
Confidence that the Cowboys don't have to score 30 points to stay in the game.
Louisiana Tech hands it off to Bernard, driven backwards.
Confidence that the names fans will be gushing over this season go beyond Dak and Zeke.
Slant over the middle. Ball is caught and fumbled. Cowboys are going to pick it up.
Homegrown talent, recent high draft picks. It's almost becoming a roll call. Let's start with the second-round pick from 2 years ago. Chidobe Awuzie.
Is intercepted.
In our system, we just talk about doing right, and if you do right longer, sometimes the balls just come to you. So I think that was a product of that.
Last year's first-round pick is out to make sure balls never get in the air. Who can't see the humongous improvement of defensive end Taco Charlton when people were writing him off just last season?
See, I know how good I am, so my confidence never wavered. If you ask a lot of people around here, they'd probably tell you my confidence never wavered. I already know how good I can be and how hard I work.
That guy's an animal. That guy's an animal. Yeah, man, Taco's an animal. He's obviously young, so he still thinks he's cool and stuff like that. But
back to throw it out to the right on a comeback, and this one's going nowhere.
Another guy who has cool written all over him, a second-rounder from 2 years ago, linebacker Jalen Smith. Most people who suffered the type of knee injury he did wouldn't be playing. But he's not just playing, he's dominating.
And the expectations are second to none. We want to be the #1 defense in the league.
I've always thought we could be good, and I've said this the last 3 years. We've played better football defensively. I think we have the right type of guys to be a great defense.
A defense that can be even greater thanks to 2015 second-round pick Randy Gregory. He continues his comeback story, now with his first game in nearly 2 years in the books.
Definitely want to be able to kick it up a notch and really get some adrenaline going and go out there and make some plays.
He only played 10 plays, but everyone thinks they saw a flash in those 10 plays.
Well, and he was going up against their first-team left tackle, Cordy Glenn, the entire time, too. And that's a big guy to try to get around. Big concern right now in that defense is in the secondary at safety. Xavier Woods has the hamstring injury, and we'll see if it will be well enough in 3 weeks where he can make that start against Carolina. And that will start all the Earl Thomas rumors once again. I think if this team wants to go deep into the playoffs or even get into the playoffs, that Earl Thomas deal needs to happen. Well, this defense could be really good with Earl Thomas.
I don't know what they're waiting on. Earl Thomas is legit.
They're waiting on Seattle.
Well, and maybe what Seattle wants in return.
Right.
But I think they have to part. Shy of a first-round pick, I think they have to part with whatever.
So you give up a second-round pick?
I'm giving it right now.
Even without a long-term contract?
But I'm giving it up. Yeah,
okay.
Right now. I want Earl Thomas because if they shore up the back end with that front seven, I think this team is a Super Bowl defense. This is a Super Bowl defense.
Well, and with Xavier Woods, even if he's healthy, they are thin at the safety position. Chido Awuzie, though, the way he's playing at left cornerback, we saw the glimpse with the highlight reel interception in last night's game, and he is showing why he was a second-round draft pick.
Well, a lot of people that we talked to at training camp, Bill, they kept saying the player that would stand out this season is Awuzie. And we didn't see a lot of him last year because he was hurt at the start of the season. But they kept saying, you got to see this guy. He just knows every position in that secondary. He knows, he studies, and he's talented. And that play, that athleticism, I didn't know he had that. That's special.
Yep, and you saw Randy Gregory in your piece there, of course, with 10 snaps in last night's game. The big key on Randy Gregory and all those defensive linemen is Rod Marinelli can work him in a rotation and keep him fresh throughout the game, as long as he stays eligible.
Yeah, Randy, come on. Keep doing the right thing. If they work this right, Bill, and if David Irving comes back, they could have a rotation like nobody else in the NFL. We saw the Eagles had that great rotation last year. Imagine this rotation. Imagine if it's 3rd and long for opposing offenses, and you have Taco Charlton, you have DeMarcus Lawrence, you have David Irving, and you have Randy Gregory. Imagine that coming after opposing quarterbacks on 3rd and long. That is scary.
Well, and then Jalen Smith, Will McClay says he's 100 times improved over where he was a year ago. And so far this preseason, he looks it.
Like that credit card. He's doing the swipe over and over and over again. I love seeing that swipe move. We've seen it a lot, hopefully a lot more this coming season.
All right, Keith's got the Dallas defense in the Super Bowl, right? Did I misquote you there?
It's super defense.
He's got him in the Super Bowl. I don't got them that far. But coming up, we turn our attention to the offensive side of the ball. Plus, still ahead, you'll want to see the impressive locker room antics by FC Dallas. Next Sunday night, it's the Cowboys' third preseason game against the Cardinals. Traditionally the dress rehearsal game, but will we see Ezekiel Elliott in a game for the first time this preseason? Jason Garrett indicated in Oxnard that Zeke might play in one preseason game. In the meantime, we've seen a steady dose of Rod Smith, and rookie Bo Scarborough left last night's game with a hip injury, which may be one reason why Jerry Jones said after the game that he's just fine without seeing Zeke in the preseason.
And Zeke has had such great work and been so workmanlike about his approach to camp. I don't need to see any more of Zeke until Carolina, for me.
All right, Keith Russell, very high on that Dallas defense. Are you good with Zeke not playing in the preseason? Have you seen enough in Oxnard?
Absolutely not. I didn't see anything. I mean, I saw him run through those high-stepping drills, but I want to see him take some hits. I think that the only way you can get ready for contact in the NFL is contact in the NFL. And I think, Bill, Zeke needs to get a few carries. He doesn't need to play much. He even said he wanted to play possibly one series. We got to see him at some point.
Well, in that rookie season, the third preseason game at Seattle, he set the tone for the entire season with what he did against the Legion of Boom defense of the Seahawks that year. All right, Rico Gathers. I can just hear sports talk radio this week after Rico Gathers goes over the top and makes that catch that you got to have Rico Gathers on this team. Do you have to have Rico Gathers on this team?
I think Rico Gathers is a luxury. I think he's a luxury, and the Cowboys might not be able to afford that luxury. He makes some, as he calls them, he makes some flash plays. When he goes up to get the ball, he's playing basketball again. He's playing power forward again at Baylor, Bill. So he can make those plays, but now he has to show that he can seal the line of scrimmage.
He can make flash blocks.
That we're still waiting to find out.
Well, and that's one thing Jerry Jones said after the game. When he thinks about Rico Gathers, a fourth tight end making this roster, he thinks about who's getting left off the roster if he's keeping Rico Gathers. Didn't bode real well for Rico. How concerned should the Cowboys be about the tight end position and replacing Jason Witten?
Very. Very. These guys, I mean, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to run some longer patterns with Blake Jarwin, but it didn't come to fruition last night. And when I see it, I think of the Cowboys as a three-headed monster at tight end. And right now, I'm going to be very honest. I don't think those three combined are better than Jason Witten. I think you have a guy who can only catch in Jarwin. I think you have a guy who can only block and Swaim. And I think you have a guy in Schultz who can do a little bit of everything, but nothing really well right now. That's what I think of the Cowboys tight ends.
All right, what have you seen out of Dak Prescott so far this preseason? I think he looks physically great, and he's the most impressive guy. His total makeup and everything in training camp in Oxnard as the leader of this team, and showed some playmaking last night, like on the touchdown pass to Terrence Williams.
I think he's going to have to do that a lot, at least early in the year, because I don't think his wide receivers and tight ends are going to give him a lot of separation. I think he has to be Russell Wilson-esque for this Cowboys offense to be efficient and effective. The only difference is he has Zeke. Russell Wilson has never had Zeke, but Dak has to use his feet.
Quibble with that.
Okay, maybe I remember that run. I remember that quake, the quake run.
All right, you got the Dallas defense in the Super Bowl. Do you have the Dallas offense in the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, so they're not going to the Super Bowl.
That's called half and half.
Okay. All right, yeah. Keith, we appreciate it. Up next, you may be stunned to learn which is the winningest American League West team the last 24 days.